welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be giving you some of my experience of being in a psych ward and like some stories. And basically every psych ward or hospital is different. Even in state, it's just different wherever you go. It's not the same. I've personally been to 3 different hospitals, and every single one of them is different. I've gotten treated way differently compared to being all in the same place. It's different, but so there's a difference between voluntary and involuntary. I personally have been through voluntary and involuntary, and involuntary is where the police are involved, and you're usually, don't take my word for it, but I think it's a 72-hour hold, I believe, where you're having to be watched by the police, and like you're just basically there longer, and you're involuntary, obviously, into the hospital. And I personally don't like it, so I have been also through voluntary, and it's a bit easier and the process is quicker. Yeah, that's basically what voluntary and involuntary is. There's a little bit more to it, but usually when they do admit you into the hospital, you go through like a behavioral check. Usually somebody comes and talks to you, and they ask you a bunch of questions, and they determine whether or not you're safe or not to go home. And usually when you do get admitted, the first thing you do when you get in there is they ask you a bunch of questions on a piece of paper, and then they do skin checks, which is when they like just make sure they mark everything that you do have on your body, like scars and stuff, and just to document everything for your safety. And the first time they had to do that to me, oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. I was really uncomfortable, but I realized that they're just doing it for my safety. And when you get into there, I was on one-to-one. One-to-one is basically like when there's the staff basically watching you 24 hours of the day, making sure you don't hurt yourself or others. One-to-one for me was, I definitely struggled with that. The staff would constantly watch me, and even when you use the restroom, they have to watch you. It's very uncomfortable, and yeah, that was basically my experience of one-to-one. Yeah, but basically when you do get into there, you get like, usually they have like 2 beds in one room, and you share it with somebody. For personal matters or circumstances, they sometimes allow you to have one room to yourself, and I've had that happen to me a couple times where I had my own room, but it varies it varies on like the circumstance and stuff. So to explain I have some stories for my bad experiences of being in the psych ward. Some of the staff were verbally abusive to me. Now, it doesn't happen to every single person. It varies because there's so many places. But there was this one particular place I went to, and the staff were very disrespectful. The one thing I did hate about the certain one I went to is that they would do physical restraints, holds. So if you were just like self-harming, or you were like at like high risk of hurting people or others, they could put you in a hold. And sometimes like they were doing a bit much when they did that, and it was very triggering for me, and that was something that I did not like. Personally, I don't really agree with that. I feel like they should take it a more different route for dealing with stuff like that. A lot of kids are kind of like with drama and stuff, and it's kind of hard to heal on your own when there's a bunch of fighting going around, or kids wanting to fight me. It was a lot of drama, and usually they take their anger out on each other, and it varies on places you go to, because there was this one place that was fine, people were super sweet, and it depends on how the kids are, and with like fighting and stuff. But The other thing is booty juice. I do not like that stuff. That is one thing that it's very triggering for me. It's basically if you're like at high risk of hurting yourself or others, they will give you that to like sedate you. And that was, yeah, I did not like that. Yeah, but that's only if you're like at like a super high risk. But otherwise, I do have some good experiences of being in the psych ward. This one certain hospital I went to, the staff were excellent. They were very sweet and thoughtful. They just really did care about the patients, and they genuinely did want to help every single one of us. Their food was also good, not gonna lie. But I'm very grateful for that certain hospital, because I genuinely did heal a little bit, and I got better being there, and they knew how to de-escalate situations. They knew very well how to just bring things to a easy pace, and it was nice. And the drama wasn't as bad there, but honestly, it just varies from every hospital. They're not all bad. They're definitely not all bad, but there are some bad ones that I did go to. And the good ones, there are good ones out there. I personally have been to some good ones, and yeah, basically, that's kind of like my sum up of kind of my experience in the psych ward. I know everybody's experience is different, but that's kind of how I went through that. And if you do want to hear some of my like stories in the hospital, just post a comment down below saying if you do want to hear some of my stories. But yeah, that's basically it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you. I hope you subscribe.